What up, YouTube? What up, boys and girls? This is Chef, New Zealand Murder History Podcast. But I haven't lit up my camera today to talk about a murder. Today I'm going to talk about a suicide, and it's awful. So anyone out there suffering from depression, suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation, just click off. Go get support from your doctor, or call one of the many 800 numbers available. Perhaps talk to a friend, but be picky what friends you talk to, because, you want to talk to someone who's actually helpful. Anyway, my show's just for educational purposes. It's not suitable for children. Kids click off. It's not meant to cause offence to anyone discussed, and definitely not to take away from the mana of Olivia Podmore, our world-class cyclist, our world-class athlete, who died of a suicide in August last year. Check this out. Let's reference this. Now, this article, questions and answers, from the Dominion Post, Friday the 13th of May, 2022. So this is the first one. I'm going to reference them as we go. There's a few articles I want to read here. None of them actually tell me the information I want to know, but let's read them anyway. Because we've got to find out what happened to Olivia Podmore. This is whack, man. Alright. Olivia Podmore's family know they may never get all the answers they need. Yeah, well, I'm not getting the answers either, but yeah, this is, this really bothers me because something weird happened to her in Bordeaux in France. And she's cool. She's our world-class athlete. And it's all buried under a mountain of non-disclosure agreements. And this is the most cloak and dagger, things left unsaid thing I've ever researched. It's just bizarre. Okay, let's set this camera up. Sorry, I'm starting to get aggravated. I don't know, it really bothers me, like... What happened to Olivia Podmore? Alright, back to the article. Sorry. Okay, they accept that it's unlikely they will ever truly come to understand the complex set of circumstances that led to the elite cyclist's suspected suicide in August last year, a tragedy her mother, Nikki Podmore, Nienke, Nikki Podmore, says she never saw coming. The whys will likely forever linger, but soon they hope they will at least get some answers to the searching questions the tragic event has posed of the country's high-performance system. 9 months on from the Rio Olympian's death, which followed a concerning social media post in which she accused Cycling New Zealand and High-Performance Sport New Zealand bosses of a cover-up. The findings of an independent inquiry into the two organisations is set to be released. Today, Sport New Zealand boss Raylene Castle, Cycling New Zealand chairman Phil Holden, along with two members of the inquiry panel, Mike Heron QC and Sarah Lieberman, will meet with Podmore's family in Christchurch to outline the findings of the review. At the same time, Cycling New Zealand athletes will be briefed by the organisation's interim chief executive. Okay, I'm just gonna cut from this because, to be honest, this article, it's just, none of this really says anything. It says about, okay, let's just read a little bit more here, so I'll skip a bit more. Many of the claims that surfaced, a lack of accountability and effective leadership in the program, opaque selection methods, and a fear of reprisal for speaking up, were traversed in Heron's 2018 investigation into Cycling New Zealand following allegations of bullying, intimidation, and a toxic culture. Central to that investigation was the treatment of Podmore, who Heron found was pressured to give a false account to protect a coach and another athlete who were allegedly involved in an intimate relationship. In his 2018 review findings, Heron described the incident as distressing and a sinister example of bullying. That we are back here again 4 years with another major inquiry into the sport has forced a wider examination of the system and high-performance sport NZ engagements with sporting bodies. Okay, let's just unpack some of the stuff we're reading here. So, this is weird, man. What is this inappropriate relationship? I mean, that could mean anything. I mean, if the coach and an athlete were just having sex, why is Olivia Podmore being pressured to give a false account? I mean, what was really going on? Like, this is just weird. I mean, I do understand that there's like a power imbalance here, but like, if they truly were just in some relationship, to me that doesn't sound that bad. I don't want to, minimize here, but I mean, if that's all that was going on, I don't see why they're telling Olivia Podmore to keep her mouth shut. Sounds like something worse was going on to me. But again, what? I don't know. And what happened to Olivia Podmore in Bordeaux in France? Again, I don't know. And who may have done what to her is my question. Again, I don't know. If anyone out there knows what happened to Olivia Podmore in Bordeaux in France, please tell me in the comments section. Don't put any details of Olivia Podmore's suicide in the comments section. I don't want to know how she did it, because it's awful and not relevant to what I'm trying to find out here, which is why she did it. So it gets weirder. Let's just hiff this article at the moment, because it's kind of annoying me. So we'll throw that out for now, and let's have a look at some other articles we've got here. Again, none of these articles telling me what I need to know. So, alright, validation for Podmore. So now, hang on, let's reference this properly. Alright. That's Olivia Podmore. Camera's not really focusing in, but that's her. There she is. And this is her friend, Eric Murray. Liv reached a breaking point and now she's at peace. Validation for Podmore, Wednesday the 18th of May. So this is when I'm hoping to find out what's happened to Podmore, but again, I haven't found out. So we'll talk about it anyway, though, because it's worth discussing. Nelson Mail is the name of the newspaper. So Nelson Mail, and yeah, validation for Podmore is the name of the article, written by Zoe George. Yeah, that's the paper I'm referencing. Okay. Hang on, let's set that up a bit better, give you guys a nice view. It's important to enjoy the little things in life. Former Olympic rower Eric Murray believes Olivia Podmore's concerns before her sudden death have been validated in a review into Cycling New Zealand and High Performance Sport New Zealand. The independent review was set up following the cyclist's suspected suicide in August 2021. Was released on Monday. It uncovered a chilling power imbalance between athletes and sports organisations and called for a complete rethink of the high-performance sports system. Murray said that the review puts the sport side of Podmore's life in the spotlight and paints a picture of the straws that were on the camel's back in the lead-up to her death. I don't think there's one specific part that made the camel break, but it does show that what she was talking about has been reiterated by the findings of this report, he said. Okay, now it gets interesting. NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, athletes being made to keep their mouths shut. Everything she basically said has come out in this report. In a social media post on the day she died, Podmore highlighted the pressures of cycling high-performance environment and called into question the integrity of the two organisations. It puts all that to rest. Yes, that was literally happening, and then brackets, to Podmore. And we see that now because of the report. As several other people spoke to reviewers about similar experiences, it legitimizes Podmore's experiences too, he said. For it to be confirmed by the report findings, this was part of the failings that not only her but let a lot of other people down. It's caused a lot of emotional trauma for different people. Cycling New Zealand chair Phil Holden and High Performance Sport New Zealand executive Raylene Castle apologised to the Podmore family and to others who have experienced trauma as a result of the high performance program. Murray acknowledges high performance sport isn't fun and fluffy, and while the culture within cycling wasn't great, there shouldn't be a witch hunt, and hopes there will be accountability and lessons learnt. Are there issues? Yes. The way some people treat it is not appropriate. Okay, but how inappropriate are we talking here? This is just so... it's annoying me, eh? Anyway. You still need pressure in high performance sport. Okay, yeah, alright, I'm just going to skip to the end because none of this is particularly interesting. If you guys want to read these actual articles, I'm sure you can find them online. That's why I'm referencing them. So, anyway, let's just read the end. There is a seriousness that needs to happen in any workplace, but people weren't having fun down there, and it really became a drag for her. He, too, is hopeful the culture in cycling will change, in part for Podmore's legacy. But it's not going to happen until people approach the review findings with an open mind. Meanwhile, the coronial inquiry into Podmore's death, overseen by Llewellyn Dunn, is ongoing. A spokesperson said no deadline has been set as evidence is still being gathered. Evidence of what? What crime was committed against her? In Bordeaux in France. This is so weird. And whack. Once that has been completed, the coroner, in consultation with Podmore's families, should be Podmore's family, anyway, will decide whether an inquest will be held. Well, I just can't wait for the coronial inquiry because this paper tells me absolutely nothing at all. Alright, now I'm going to read just some stuff I jotted down quickly. So, NZ Herald article, 11th of September 2021, nzherald.co.nz. Exclusive, Olivia Podmore paid $20,000 plus sporting grant for welfare reasons that confused other athletes. So that's the name of the article online. And it's and one thing it said in this article that's weird is in her final social media post, she talked about a cover-up in Cycling New Zealand. I mean, we're talking about a cycling thing, how sinister could it be? But obviously it is sinister because Olivia Podmore's not here anymore, so something sketchy's going on. I mean, what the hell? This is just whack. I really want to know what happened to our world-class athlete, eh? She was cool. And basically, from these articles I'm reading, what I'm understanding is that there were a lot of things that were getting Olivia Podmore down. Now, apparently, world-class athletes in New Zealand get paid less than the minimum wage. Now, that's whack. Also, Olivia Podmore is a woman, and so she's going to get paid even less than blokes. Now, that's also lacking. I don't understand. I just don't really have any involvement in sporting, high-performance sport and stuff. I don't really have any knowledge of this kind of stuff. I'm just reading about it in the papers. So that's not good. She's been training her whole life, and then she got cut out of the Olympics at one stage. I'm not sure what that was all about. But here's where it gets weird. So she got paid 20 grand and she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Now, this was some kind of welfare grant, and it was rare, and other athletes thought it was weird. So what I'm suggesting, and I don't really know because I literally don't know. I'd at least give one of my teeth to know this because it's pretty strange. So something happened to Olivia Podmore in Bordeaux in France. Something bad. Who, what, where, why, how, I don't know. Well, I know Bordeaux, France, but the point is something happened to her. She was paid this welfare grant, but what was that welfare grant for? Was she to take that money and then get treatment from a psychiatrist, for example? I mean, it could be anything. It could be for a sore knee. Could be for... But obviously it wasn't for a sore knee because that just doesn't add up with what we got here. But then, yeah, what actually happened? I don't know. It's pretty strange. I mean, if she had a broken knee or something weird like that, why would they make her sign a non-disclosure agreement? Doesn't make any sense. And as soon as Olivia Podmore died, all these athletes are getting hit with these non-disclosure agreements. And it's like, well, what is so crazy that they can't talk about it? What is the cover-up that Olivia Podmore's referencing in the final social media post she made before she died? Cover up what? I mean, Cycling New Zealand, you know, like, when you just say the word Cycling New Zealand, it doesn't sound that bad, but obviously it is. I don't know, it's bizarre, like, what the hell? Anyway, alright, I got one more article for you. Yeah, this is another one by Zoe George, and it's in the Sunday Star Times, 15th of May. In fact, let's just get a shot of that, because it's kind of a cool picture. I mean, this is who I'm talking about. She's cool. It's Olivia Podmore. I mean, look at her go. She's a world-class athlete. Look at her. She's beating the Canadian cyclist. Whoever that is, I don't know. But the point is, she trained her whole life. I mean, she was only, I believe she was 22 when she died, possibly 23. But I mean, you know, she worked hard to get there. And she got paid less than minimum wage. I'm sorry for laughing. I just don't know what to... I find this whole thing disturbing. I think that's why sometimes I laugh a little bit too, because it's like I feel so down. I've got to like crack a smile because it's so bizarre. I just can't comprehend what I'm reading. I don't comprehend. That's why I'm making this video, because I don't know. I'm hoping somebody else out there might have some information for me, specifically about what happened to her in Bordeaux in France and what that welfare grant was all about, because I read another article about Olivia Podmore a while ago where a friend of hers was saying she would have been better had she not taken the money and she was able to talk about whatever this problem was. I mean, none of this is... Oh man, this is also weird. So this one, yeah. Athletes being exploited with slave labour salaries, says Commissioner. Sunday Star Times, 15th of May, 2022. Expecting athletes to chase medals while living off slave labour type salaries is exploitation, says Equal Employment Opportunities Commissioner. Okay, so it's a big Long Islander name there. I don't want to mispronounce it. We'll just film that so you guys know who I'm talking about. Saunoa Malele Karania Sumeo. So this lady, so she's the Equal Employment Opportunities Commissioner. The review, established following the death of Olympic cyclist Olivia Podmore, will recommend athletes become employees rather than contractors, which means minimum wage and employment law requirements will need to be met. Athletes have reported living in poverty, including BMX world champion Jessie Smith, who said she was told to stop working to focus on her sport. Okay, that's whack. I mean, you know, if you need money, you need money. Like, because of that request and the limited financial support she received from Cycling New Zealand, Smith on Thursday said she wondered at times where her next meal would come from. She would often miss rent payments and didn't have enough money to cover the registration or warrant of fitness for her car. Okay, this is all whack, and I understand that grinding poverty is terrible, and it's weird because these people are throwing in. I mean, how many hours a week do you think she has to throw in to get to where she is in that photo? You know, like I'm guessing she works very hard, but man, it's just so weird. Like, what happened to her in Bordeaux in France? I mean, how untoward is untoward? Like, was Olivia Podmore sexually assaulted? I mean, I don't know what else could have happened to her, although I haven't seen any reports to say that that's what happened either. I've read all this stuff, and it's all just weird innuendo and things being, you know, those read between the lines kind of ones. It's just nobody's actually saying what's actually happened. All I've heard is about inappropriate relationships, untoward stuff from who, where, why, what, how, I don't know. And it annoys me because I want to know. I want to know what happened to Olivia Podmore. She was our world-class cyclist. I'm sorry, I know I've said that about 25 times in this episode. I'm just getting a bit exacerbated because I waited for that report from Cycling New Zealand, and although it had a lot of information about all sorts of stuff, it didn't really say what actually happened to her. But obviously something happened to her. And that's why she's not here anymore. Something bad happened. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything more to say. It's all horrific. Anyone out there who's in high performance sport, if you're not making enough money, I know you trained your whole life and stuff, but it might be better to maybe just do a career change. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not well and you're struggling, there's a way out, and it's a positive way out. And it might be hard at first, and you might have to go retrain, but you know, don't lose hope like Olivia Podmore did. And I'm not blaming her either. I don't blame her for what she did because I don't know what happened to her. So, you know, nobody knows what thoughts were going through her head. Although a lot of people know something that's worth burying under a bunch of non-disclosure agreements. So, I don't know. It's just bizarre, you know, like Kiwi girl goes to France to, you know, do some cycling training. She's a world-class athlete, Olympic gold medalist, a champion. And then, you know, now she's not here anymore. She was younger than me, so what a waste of opportunity, you know. I mean, she could have left cycling and done something else, but, you know, it just wasn't to be. So what was that welfare grant all about, eh? Apparently it's a real rare grant. Why was her welfare... Oh, that's it. I'm done talking about this. I might make another video when the actual coronal inquiry comes out, or if I ever find out what happened to her in Bordeaux, France. But I don't know. I'm just getting kind of aggravated now and going around in circles. Have a good one, everybody, and keep your chin up. And if there's a problem, focus on how to solve the problem. Don't throw problems in the too hard basket, especially if they're bad problems that are upsetting you. All the best, Chef.